Hello and welcome to Dance Teachers Academy. I am your host, Jose on the mic, and with me is the lovely and talented, amazing dancer, May. How are you doing?
I am great this morning. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. We are back in San Antonio, and that means that we have our friend with us today, Esteban Cardenas. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Dude, I'm glad to see you. It's been a little bit. You're still looking fit. How you feeling?
Excuse me?
I said, how are you feeling?
Oh, pretty good.
Oh, doing all right?
Good, yeah.
Okay.
You're a morning person.
Are you a morning person? Yeah, I'm a morning person as well. I mean, that doesn't mean I can't stay up late.
Always have been.
There we go. So when last we met, we didn't have a chance to cover everything. There was a few things that you had going on that we wanted to go ahead and kind of get into. So with that being said, your mic, sir.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Yes, the Studio One is putting on our annual Dance Sports Showcase Showdown, which is gives the students an avenue to create their dance and to a choreographed to a song that's choreographed, and we put it up on stage just like a regular performance. So that's coming up. It gives the students a great opportunity to explore outside of their comfort zone, puts them in that whole performing mode where that's always a little scary. So it's a great vehicle to boost them up and get them really to push through something a little bit harder.
Right, and so people ask, well, why should I do a showcase? Or, I'll never do a showcase, don't make me do that. When really, it's such a great idea. Why? Because, for example, if we're going to take a college class, then you know that you're going to have a test on the material in whatever 2 books on a given date. And so what that does is that forces you to learn a certain amount of material and creativity by a given date, instead of like, I'm just kind of learning a little bit here and a little bit there. So it's a great idea.
And by pushing yourself, you always learn so much more.
Yes, so, that is absolutely
let's
true.
Face it, dance is a performance art, so it needs to be put out there.
Yes. So tell me a story about a student, because I've had them, but I'd like to hear your point of view since you're our guest. Anyway, because I have stories. Anyway, a student that said, I'll never do a showcase. Don't even ask me to do it. And then they turned around and did a beautiful performance.
Well, that kind of goes along with just about all of them, because I don't think any of the students really, they're all a little bit afraid of doing a show where they're the only ones on stage. As you know, when we compete in ballroom, we typically are not on the floor by ourselves.
Yes.
So anytime you put them on stage and they know that they've got to carry their whole routine all the way through, I think that they are all quite a bit nervous about that.
Oh, I'd imagine so, yeah.
Especially since they're not, it's not their first profession, so.
Right.
And then dancing in front of your peers is always hardest.
Yeah.
I always find that whenever I dance in front of people I don't know, it's always so much easier. Because I know I'm going to leave, and who cares if I messed up or not, But dancing in front of my peers is always torture, because, they're judging you, and they're, or not necessarily judging you, but, they're watching you very closely.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
And you have to see them in a few hours.
Right.
As opposed to, packing up and leaving town.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Well, there is a certain amount of confidence that you have to have, and imagine with a student their first time, or even if it's only their second or third showcase. Yes. It's like anything else. The more you do it, the more confidence you build, and all of a sudden, you know what? You don't even see those people out in the audience.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah. You're so focused on what you need to be doing, feeling the music, giving that energy out.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
I do have a very funny story about Bonnie Shubiak, who was we a few years ago we decided to start some senior classes during the day. during the daytime hours. And so Bonnie Shubiak, when she first came into the studio, she was frail, and she walked a little bit, if I could describe it, kind of sideways a little bit instead of forward. Her legs didn't swing forward; that she just kind of waddled.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I remember seeing her come into class, and she came up to me and she goes, "Are you the instructor?" I said, "No, but do you have a question?" And she goes, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through the whole class." I said, "Well, just do what you can. Just sit down on the sofa when you need a break, and just take it easy, and go into it very slowly." Well, she fell in love with dancing. She was probably in her 80s. And
wow.
Yeah, and she started to swing her legs forward and back instead of waddling. She came to classes religiously. She was telling all her friends about it.
Wow.
And then one day she drove through the studio.
Literally?
Yeah.
Like parked it on the dance floor?
Not really. Next door.
Oh, next door.
To the studio.
Okay.
Yes. Luckily, no. The space wasn't being.
If it was next door to the studio,
it was next door to the
studio.
studio.
That's okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She was coming to her lesson, and she got caught up on one of those curbs. Well, she had a car with a Hemi in it, so she just tapped that thing, and she went straight through.
Oh, wow.
She just tapped it so hard, I guess she just didn't realize how much force she was putting on it. She went straight through the building. And so we're in the studio, and imagine right next door,
I'm laughing. It's not.
there's just this
not funny.
horrendous noise. I mean, it sounded like a train wreck.
Yeah.
And we all go running out. I'm looking out of the street, and I'm like, well, there's no accident. That's just so strange. And then I see all this smoke billowing out from the building. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I go over there, and there's Miss Bonnie Shubiak with her cup of coffee, and she's like, "I'm all right. I'm fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Damn it, I did it again." Again. And I'm like, "Bonnie, don't worry. Just let me help you out," because there was broken glass and bricks and
Sure.
everywhere.
Building material.
She goes, what makes me really upset is that I think I'm gonna have to miss my dance class. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would needed to go home and change my pants. She's worried about being able to go to her dance class. I'm like, "Bonnie, don't worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and get you on the sofa." And
chill her out. Yes.
The paramedics were already on their way. Somebody had called the cops. I mean the paramedics.
Yeah.
And all the emergency vehicles that come along with that. And she goes, "I'm just going to call my son and let him come take care of this for me so I can go to class." And she's like sitting there on the sofa with the
You gotta love
paramedics.
that.
I'm fine. I need to get into my class. So,
and you guys are going to make me late, okay?
yes, she was not having it. I mean, but that's how the power of dance affected her. I mean, she just fell in love with it.
That is great.
Becoming
Said,
more
I already
fit.
parked my car. Yeah.
It's just like, don't loan her your car.
Yeah, and did she start dancing when she was 80?
Yes. Yeah.
And so this is not this can happen and does happen, and I don't know if you remember the lady that danced with Jesse, Eleanor,
yes.
She started when she was 80, and she danced until she was almost 102,
Mm-hmm.
and she passed away. She would come to her lesson 3 times a week, hair and makeup,
Yes.
and eventually
She liked doing showcases.
She did, and competitions.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to say that because
At 102. There you go.
She did showcases well into her 90s and competitions. She was what do you call it? She didn't have competition
Right.
at the competition
Because she was in
her
age was so
category.
high, right?
Yeah. So, but we're encouraging.
But
other
I mean,
women.
but
So
just
you can
think
start
about
at 80.
the benefit of her moving that much.
Absolutely.
I mean, you see older people, they start looking like their sofa because they start sitting around for too many hours a day. So they start looking like
Yeah.
they're shrinking.
Yeah.
And it's so important
move.
To keep moving.
Yeah, it's not too late to
Right,
start
right.
at 8.
And to do something that allows you to be creative. Music. You're getting instruction. So, yeah.
Keeping your mind and your body active. That's important.
Usually your instructor is, pretty easy on the highs. That's not a bad thing.
That's not.
Yeah. Hey.
Why not?
Right.
It's a win-win.
That's a great story. It is a win-win. It's a great story. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Bonnie should be acting.
Did she do her dance lesson?
Excuse me?
She did her dance lesson?
She did her dance lesson. I was just shocked. Like I said, I would have had to go home and change my pants. Sadly, she had to give up her driver's license since it was her second offense. And
second building offense.
And so I felt so bad because she kept calling me and she goes, "Can you come out? I've got a few people in my apartment complex and I just want you to teach us dancing."
Nice.
I'm like, "Bonnie, I would love to, but I don't have that kind of staff right now to be able to do it."
Yeah.
But it was really important to her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Power of dance.
Apparently so.
Not too late.
Better
to
than that
start.
Hemi she had. She put in
Yeah, no joke.
storefront.
She should have had a small little Toyota or something.
Right, a little wind-up
She
car.
probably wouldn't
Yes.
have liked it as much.
No, she needed that big old car.
Yeah.
Big old Chrysler with the Hemi in it.
Yeah. Nice.
Nice lady though. Nice lady. She always so complimentary. She taught business in college courses. So she was a teacher, and she was just always so complimentary to me. She goes, "You just run the best place, and you I know how hard business is, and just very, very sweet and very just like I said, complimentary and encouraging. And the most encouraging part of course was her coming into class and dancing, knowing that she started waddling first and then started to improve her
Nice
form.
stride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The benefits are amazing.
Yeah.
So how many numbers do you have? It's called Showcase Showdown?
San Antonio Showcase Showdown.
San Antonio
We
Showcase
have
Showdown.
around 30.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
And then the date of that is?
It's September 30th.
September 30th. Okay, very good. Is that a Saturday?
It's a Saturday.
Sounds like a Saturday. They seem to like that Saturday showcase thing.
Mm-hmm. It was
Yeah.
easy. Saturday. San
Yes.
Antonio Showcase Showdown
Showdown.
in September.
Yes.
All the S's. Be there.
Right.
Show up.
Be there. Oh, that's better. Yeah, show up.
Show up.
Show up.
I love it.
There you go.
Yeah.
We are still on the clock. Are there any other things that you would love to cover?
I'd like to know more about Kikis Kids. You were starting to talk about that, and that's really nice. So, you covered it, but do you have a nice, fun story about a child that started with Kikis Kids? And
It's funny. When I was younger, and when I first started dancing, I studied hip hop and jazz and ballet. So a friend of mine had a job with the city called Urban Smarts, and it was an after-school program for at-risk kids. And he took the contract, but then couldn't do it, fulfill it. So he asked me if I would do it, and I'm like, "No, I really don't." He goes, "Please, I really need help to get out of this, and I don't want to leave them
In a lurch.
in a bad place."
it's about
Yes.
the kids.
Right. So I said, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." So I go, and these kids were like, oh my gosh, terrors.
Is that right?
I was in the stage, and they're just like basically running circles around me all day long. I mean, for the whole class period. And so I was very discouraged, and I left, and I thought, that's it, I'm gonna quit. I can't do this. I don't have this. I don't have what it takes to do this. So I'm driving home, and I'm having this internal battle with myself, this talk. And I thought, no, I'm not. Tomorrow I'm going in with a bat, and I'm going to get those kids under control, and I'm going to do this. Well, my mom had noticed, and her nickname was Kiki. My mom had noticed that I was really happy doing this with the kids. I used to choreograph like basketball routines for the boys, and because we had to teach them how to dance, and it was performing arts, visual arts, and drama, and so I needed to make it interesting for them. The kids, after a while, just like took, and they were just amazing. One time I was walking with one of the kids, and he goes, "Sir, I really wish you were my dad." And I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, so sweet. I know, so sweet, and
It's got behind him.
and I just grew to really appreciate their situation.
Wow.
They were a lot of times, they come to school and they're talking about, "Oh, my dad just got arrested. They came and got him last night." Things like that.
Dramatic.
So these kids are, these are third, fourth, and fifth graders.
Even
that are exposed to this.
that they know the word
they're
arrested.
scared.
Yeah,
Right.
it's terrible.
Right. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
So it became very close to my heart. So as I got into more of the ballroom career and left that, my mom always said, "Now, mijo, remember, you have to go back to the kids, because you were the happiest when you were doing that."
Oh wow.
And I said, "Mom, I will. When I have time, I'll do it."
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we know how that goes. There's
Yes.
never time, right?
Right.
So, I'm building a business, I'm trying to build my career, I'm trying to keep myself trained. When my mom passed away a few years ago, I decided that I would create Kikis Kids, the 501c3 program, to give scholarships to little ones
Nice.
whose parents can't afford to put them into dance classes.
That's wonderful. There's so many people I've heard too being interviewed that dancing saved their life.
Yes.
From whatever the situation, or just like too much reality around them, and to be able to escape into something powerful and so positive as
Right.
dance.
It's so true.
Yeah.
I always
You're doing a good thing. Your mom
Thank
is
you. I
bad.
mean, it's when I think about the help that I've received from
Yes.
people, whether it's a friend, whether it's a colleague or a student, I get so much help from people. Advice, financial, spiritual, or just don't give up. You're doing great. I mean, I get so much help. So I mean, it's only right. So
I love that.
I enjoy it, and I love. I mean, I do believe that just teaching dance and doing what's fair through teaching dance for people gives them the opportunity to explore dancing and make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, well, for those inner city kids, or underprivileged, for lack of a better word, all they really want is for someone to give them a chance, and them just believe in what they're trying to do, and all of a sudden, man, they just give you the love right back.
Yes, they do.
They really do.
They do. Once you find the way in,
Sure.
you got it. And I just wasn't sure. Like I said, that first day I was like driving home, and I was just like, I can't do this, and thank God I'm not a quitter.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm pretty stubborn. So
Yeah.
after being a little upset about the whole situation, I decided that I would do my best to get a handle on it,
I like
and it
that.
wasn't so bad.
And you know what that
all it takes is a little creativity
yes.
and some forethought. I mean, I just I didn't know what I was walking into, so I walked into that,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh my gosh, so
For them, it's a defense mechanism from where their environment is.
Right.
I want to
They
say
can't
that
let you straight
because
in.
Sure.
Jose is from
Absolutely.
inner city Philly,
Sure.
and you have had these great stories that you told me, but for inner city Philly and the Jesuits.
Oh yeah,
Jesuit priests
Yeah,
that-
they ran the community centers at the time. So yeah, they part of their regiment for training is boxing, and so I still remember this guy.
Father Ruiz.
Father Ruiz, yeah, you saw the punches leave. You never saw him coming in.
Right.
So
Wow.
after a while, you just figure out, man, this guy's got quick hands.
Yes. Yes.
So-
So what do you say about the Jesuit priests? Do you like them because they train you how to box?
Well, no, they, they'll beat you up, but they'll pray over you afterwards. So that's kind of cool. So,
Right.
But so what is
Pray
that?
for you to be healed.
yes.
That's right. So you're saying a defense mechanism. So you know about that, being in that, from that situation.
Well, yeah, everybody, the people that you grow up around, you understand them. You know, that's who you know. That's who you trust, for lack of a better word. It's when you meet somebody that you don't know. So you all of a sudden, you got your defense up right away because hey, you don't know what this person is or who he is or where they're from or what their intentions are.
Sure.
So that takes it takes a really really long time to kind of not have that as an instinct.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean that even today that I'll go into a certain area and I'm just kind of aloof. No, it's situational awareness. I know where I am, and so you just you just learn that okay, you just can't always be aggressive. Right up the front. It's like what, just kind of slowly walk and be like smoke. Be there, but creep slowly, move slowly. That's kind of the way you have to do it.
So programs like that.
It's just respectful. And
Yes.
when you teach somebody something, it is there's a trust there, so they take information from you, they regurgitate information back to you, and it builds a relationship, which is probably why, whether it be boxing or dancing or soccer, that builds confidence and it builds character and it expands their mind, and there's a lot of trust there. There has to be a lot of trust.
It starts with the trust, because if they don't, if they can't trust you to first come through with whatever it is that you're doing, so the commitment is there.
Right.
And again, always comes back to the trust.
Right.
Have to have that commitment. Had you decided not to come back, then that's what they're used to.
Right.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Wow.
It's like, oh, okay, yeah,
at first
I
they
punched
gave
him in the face and he stayed gone.
Right.
It's like, no, I punched him in the face and damn, he's here again the next day. Commitment, then that's where the trust starts.
Yeah. Wow.
That is exciting. And
I didn't realize that then,
It makes sense.
it does. It
And
makes
certainly
perfect
with,
sense.
like I said, inner city kids, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you in the face and see if you come back.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you do, then I'm like, okay, well, you got my respect, you're starting to get my respect and my trust now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I hit him and he's still there. Now I got to deal with him.
Right. Right.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly what that
So
is.
true.
So glad that we talked about that because that's so great what you're doing, and in honor of Kiki, your mama.
My mom. She's
Yeah,
a smart
moms
lady.
are always right.
They
right?
are.
You know, it was my mother's idea for me to be a ballroom dancer. And I went, oh, Mom, that's so stupid. A year later, you got to listen to your mother.
Yeah, they seem to always have the finger on the pulse. They know.
Mhm.
Yes.
They,
yeah.
They do.
you're, and then I don't care how old you get, you're still always mama's baby.
That's
So they always have
right.
they always have your best target,
Yes.
Best
on their mind.
interest.
Yep,
Yep.
your best interest,
Yep.
absolutely. Okay, well, that being said, we have to get running.
Okay.
I would like to thank you both for spending the afternoon with me.
Thank you.
May, thank
Yes, Jose, always a
All
pleasure. Thank you, Esteban, my good friend.
For
And it's-
including me.
you. It was glad to see you. Well, folks, that is another episode of Dance Teachers Academy. Thank you for listening.